Hi yogis, it's Crystal with Island Yoga here on the south end of Hilton Head Island, and I'm going to guide you through a minimal props, shorter yin practice today. If you have a couple of blocks or firm cushions or books, you can definitely grab those if you have them handy, as well as a blanket. We're going to get right into it because it is a shorter practice. All right, palms can face up or down. Keep the shoulders relaxed away from the ears. We're going to sit nice and tall, reaching the crown of the head up toward the ceiling, keeping a lift in the heart. Just take a few breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. We'll flutter the eyes open. Let's start with 3 cycles of breath today. We'll inhale, arms out. Exhale, arms back. Inhale, palms up. Exhale, arms back. Lift your heart. Exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale, out. Exhale, back. Inhale, palms up. Exhale, arms back. Lift. Exhale. Final cycle. Inhale, out. Exhale, back. Inhale, palms up. Exhale, arms back. Lift your heart. This time we're going to take left fingertips to the left, reach right fingertips up and over your head. Think about twisting the heart open. So rather than concaving through the chest, chin is away from the chest. Opposite side, right fingertips to the right, left fingertips reach up and over. And don't get fixated on sides. I am mirroring you, so just taking the opposite side. Come back to center. Use the hands to close the knees. We're going to take 5 cycles of breath in cat-cow. I like to articulate the spine, so if you have your blanket or cushy towel to protect the knees, you can certainly use it. If it feels okay to just stay directly on the mat, that's always okay. Shoulders above the wrists, hips are above the knees. Spread the fingers. We want the heel of the palm to be down and the knuckles to be down. Make sure the fingers face forward and not towards each other. Inhale, curl the toes, rock tailbone up, shine the collarbones forward, lift your gaze. Exhale, point the toes away, push the mat away, angry cat back or hips to heels. I really love that version. Inhale, forward, curl the toes, tailbone up. Take your time as you move. No rush here. Exhale, point the toes away, push the mat away, you come back. Oceany breath at the back of the throat. If you can, inhale forward, awareness of the hands. Exhale back. 2 more, inhale. Exhale. Final cycle, inhale forward. Exhale back. And back to your tabletop. Let's take a wide-legged child's pose. Just 5 breaths today. Big toes touch, go wide with the knees, send hips to heels, walk hands, arms forward. Third eye can come to either the mat or to a block if you have one. Sometimes it's nice, I'm just going to show you from the side so you get a better look, to place a block in between the feet to support yourself as you take the upper body more forward this way. Reaching forward and stretching back. Or if you have a bolster or something else to support you, that's a good option as well. All right, so we're just gonna hold for 5 breaths in the center, reaching forward, stretching back. It doesn't matter how close the hips get to the heels, and you can always change the placement of the hands, arms, so if it feels nice to you, to release thumbs to the back of the head, you can do that as well. Try to relax the hips and the glutes. Good. Fingertips come to the mat, walk yourself back, and we're going to swing both legs in front of us. All right, so we're gonna start in fire log pose. We're just gonna hold 10 breaths per side. You'll start with your right shin parallel to the top of the mat or parallel-ish, and you'll stack your left leg on top so the legs are like fire logs, parallel or parallel-ish. So if this is a lot of strain on the top knee, you can flex the toes back. For me, I feel okay, so I'm going to keep the foot relaxed. So if this is entirely too much, if there's way too much sensation going on anywhere, but probably you'll feel it in the left hip glute area, maybe you decide to start with your foot at the calf, ankle to ankle, one foot in front of the other, as much or as little supports as you need for that top knee. All right, so for me, stacking the legs on top of each other does feel okay today. Maybe you stay here. For me, sometimes I like to have palms facing up on blocks, or you can inhale, lift, exhale, walk yourself more forward. So for me, that's a bit much even for 10 breaths, so I'm going to stay here. If you know a variation or modification, you can certainly take it. So in our yin practice, the energy we are cultivating is achieving more by doing less. Try to relax everything you do not need to use, like the space between the brows, teeth are separated. Just allow the tongue to come away from the roof of the mouth. You took the upper body more forward, walk yourself back so the upper body is more upright. Whichever leg was on top, we're simply going to slide so that we have our knees stacked on top of each other. So for this shoelace pose, also called happy cow face, you can decide to take a much looser shoelace. And for me, sometimes it's more sustainable to come a little bit more loosely with the legs, but over time, perhaps working to stack knee on top of knee. So variations for the arms here, you can decide, because the left leg is on top, to pat yourself on the back with left hand, or right palm faces to the back wall, and you can take an interlaced finger grip, or if you have a strap or towel handy, you can do that as well. So I'm just going to show you from this position. You would pat yourself on the back, whichever leg is on top, you pat yourself on the back with that hand. Opposite hand, palm will face out so that you can take an interlaced finger grip, or you can always just grab onto your shirt or towel or strap if you have one. The arms are totally optional. All of it is optional, but not the breath. That's what makes this yoga, the body-breath connection. So we're breathing in stillness in the position that we feel is most sustainable for us. And make whatever intelligent adjustments you need to make if you do need to make them. Today I'm skipping the arms. I'm going to keep shoulders above the hips. If you took the arms, you can release the arms, maybe props to the side. If you took the upper body more forward, walk yourself back. We will very carefully remove top leg. Soles of the feet come to the mat. Feet are about hips width apart, or whatever feels comfortable. And we'll just do a windshield wiper motion with the knees from side to side. When you're ready, we'll find stillness with the legs. Before we come into second side, we're going to take a nice easy forward fold. So you can take this supported or unsupported. So I'm going to show you supported first. I like to fashion space in the shape of a T, or maybe you're stacking things on top of each other. A little space between the legs. You can decide to flex the toes back or just relax. Inhale, lift, ribcage off the waist, and then exhale, you come forward. It does not matter how far forward you go. And for me, I like the palms to face up. You can change the level of the blocks, or you can decide to make this unsupported, in which case you would inhale, lift, exhale, walk yourself forward. Maybe it's not very far forward at all. Could be a slight or energetic movement. Maybe chin comes down to your chest, nice little opening in the back of the neck with that. You can come onto flat palms, or you can walk yourself more forward. So for me, I like to think about reaching the crown of the head beyond the toes. So again, it doesn't matter how far forward you go. You want to feel pleasant opening in the hamstrings. Relax the feet, rock or slide yourself back. Yes. All right, we're gonna have the left shin on the bottom and the right shin on top next. So stacking leg on leg so that they're parallel-ish to the top of the mat. You can always start at the calf, ankle to ankle, one foot in front of the other, as much or as little support as you need. You can also decide to use the blanket instead and roll it. Sometimes it contours to the body a little more nicely than the rectangular blocks. All right, so from here, you can take your best version of fire log. You can either lift up and then exhale, walk your way forward. Or for me today, I'm going to keep my shoulders right above the hips. Trying to keep the shoulders and the face relaxed. Breathing with ease. Remember, no one version better than the other. Creating openness in your body, whatever that means for you, by way of your breath. Conscious breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. It's not wrong to breathe in and out of the mouth, but sometimes that stimulates the sympathetic nervous system, which is fight or flight. So often we'll cue you for nostril breath. Creating a rest and digest mindset so your body can yield a little easier. You took the upper body more forward, walk your way back, and this time we will slide the knees so that they stack on top of each other or energetically working in the direction of your intention. So if your knees don't stack, that is okay. Being nice to yourself is a huge part of the practice. So is cultivating self-awareness. Sometimes it takes more mental fortitude and bodily intelligence to ease out a little bit. All right, so from here, because your right leg is on top, you pat yourself on the back with the right hand. Opposite hand, the palm will face out so that you can take an interlaced finger grip if that feels great. Or you can walk yourself more forward. If you know a different variation, you can definitely take that instead. For me, it's going to be shoulders above hips, about 10 breaths here. took the arms or the upper body more forward. Release the arms. Coming back up so the body is straight. You can take the gaze forward or up for a breath or two. Very carefully, we remove the top leg, and you can do that windshield wiper motion with the knees a few times. We're gonna come 10 breaths into Malasana next, so we will have to adjust the props accordingly for this one. When you're ready, we'll find stillness with the legs. If you're very tight in the hips, I'm gonna give you some different options here. So for some of us, we might stack 2 blocks on top of each other. We'll go wider stance between the feet, toes point out toward opposite corners. So maybe this is your Malasana for today, sitting on props, turning the toes out, maybe using your hands to coke the knees a little bit more open. We want to feel pleasant opening again, not overdoing the stretch. If you're feeling a little more open today, you can decide to go maybe 1 block. Remember, we're just holding for 10 breaths here. Maybe hands come to prayer. Keep a lift in the heart from tail through the crown. Think about nice long spine as we open up into the hips, maybe using the elbows to widen the space between the knees. If you're feeling extra open today, you can decide to not use the blocks, sitting in your deep squat this way. So if you need arch support, especially if the feet don't come all the way down to the mat, if the heels don't touch the mat, that's okay. You don't have to force anything here. You can slide a blanket for arch support if you need it. For me today, it feels okay to take the squat from this position. So again, if you need to take a different version or add or remove support as you hold, it's okay. And if you've taken my classes before, you know to take breaks whenever you need to. I will not cue you for them. It's always okay to ease your way out of the shape. Sometimes the best version of a posture is not to take it. So practicing mindfulness as you move, this is your moving meditation. And every day is going to be a little bit different. The eyes were closed, we'll flutter them open. You can take fingertips or hands in front of you and then ease your way out of the shape. So if you had blocks, you would take your blocks to the side. I'm also going to move my blankets to the side before coming back to the mat, swinging my legs out in front of me. So you can stay facing forward, but I'm going to show you from the side what the next one looks like. We're gonna come into a supported bridge pose also for 10 breaths and then waterfall. I'm gonna demo using support for my head because I am turning this way. I don't have any super duper multi-camera tricks just yet, so we're gonna work with what we have. All right, so we're gonna have 1 block handy or your other prop. If you're using one, make your way all the way onto your back. All right, you want your toes to point straight, not towards each other. If you were to reach for the ankles would just be within reach. You can measure that with your fingertips. All right, from here, palms are going to face down. We're going to inhale, lift your hips up. Slide the block. I like to go lowest or mid-level. So for me, lowest level is where I want to be for today, but you can gauge that for yourself, of course. So if it feels delightful to come higher, you can do that. For me, that's just a little much. So we're going to slide this underneath the tailbone. So you might need to adjust. You'll know when you found that sweet spot because you'll be able to simply melt over the block. Again, we don't want to feel any pain here. All right, so just notice if you're resisting the support. Sometimes we do resist the support of our prop. You can decide to have palms face up. You can grab opposite elbows. You can rest your hands on the belly. That's the version I will be taking here today for 10 breaths, doing what feels right with your gaze. No effort in the legs or the feet or the glutes. Complete relax. We're going to see how waterfall feels for today. So I'm going to take waterfall on the block, simply repositioning the hands and the legs, feet. So for me, I'm going to take one leg up, other leg up, and just allow the legs to be weightless. So essentially this is legs up the wall without the wall. If this does not feel delicious to you and the block is digging into, you can always push with the feet to lift the hips. Slide the prop out from underneath you. You would then lower one vertebra at a time. Tailbone touches last, and you can certainly take it from here. If you have a cushion or bolster to slide underneath the tail, then you can definitely do that instead. All right, so I'm going to resume the position with the block. So coming back up for me, and just allowing the legs, feet to come up, reversing the blood flow. Very good for venous drainage. Helping with mental clarity as well. The benefit here is in reversing the blood flow. Legs up the wall and waterfall, also passive heart strengthener. And it just feels delightful. Traditionally, yin postures are held for 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes or longer. And longer than 2 minutes is about right. Today we're doing an express yin class or an express class in the yin style. So still getting benefit here even with not as long of a session. Sometimes that's all you need to hit the reset button. If you were in waterfall, then we will bring soles of the feet to come back to the floor or to the mat, palms face down. Lift the hips up on an inhale. Slowly, we will lower down once the prop is off to the side. One vertebra at a time, tailbone touches last. Let's take 5 breaths in a reclining child's pose. So for this, big toes together or ish, we're gonna grab somewhere on the legs. I'm going to grab the shins. You can certainly grab somewhere on the knees as well to bring the knees closer to the floor. No strain in the head or the neck. I like to look down the center to create some space in the cervical spine here as I look down. If it's available today, maybe we take a quick little happy baby, also for 5 breaths. So you can certainly grab anywhere on the legs or at the ankles to pull the knees closer to the floor. If it's available, pinky side grip on the feet. So I always like to mention, as part of the very first yoga training that I took, they stressed keeping all your fingers together. So it's not wrong to have the fingers separated, but it seems to be true that when you bring all your fingers together, especially your strongest digit, which is your thumb, you get a much firmer grip than if you had a lobster grip or your fingers out or you had grippy fingers. So instead of grippy fingers, give yourself a nice solid grip. I like pinky side grip on the feet. It's not wrong to grab from the inside. I just like the feeling of my wrists being straighter. All right, if it feels good, we'll flex the toes back towards your face. Pull, pull, pull. Maybe looking down the center. Maybe energetically rotating the tail down and forward. Whatever feels nice for you. Good. We'll release that, palms face down. See if you can descend the legs. Control the movement all the way back down to your mat. Woo. All right. So we're going to bend one knee closer to you. For me, it's the right. I've been mirroring you throughout the video, but this is the last shape we'll take before the final breathing exercise, just to neutralize the spine. So we'll take left hand to right knee. Knee goes left, arm goes right. Maybe shift your gaze. So again, don't get fixated on sides here. Do your best to keep both shoulders attached to the mat. For the complete spine twist, you have your gaze in the opposite direction of the top knee. So if it feels nice, maybe shift the gaze beyond the right fingertips. You can take the gaze toward the ceiling, or you can close your eyes, collarbones face up. So if you've taken my classes before and you want to take a variation like extending the top leg out and bending the bottom foot closer to you for cat pulling its tail, you can certainly take that version. For me today, I'm going to take the nice easy version of the twist. Pull the low belly in. We're going to come back to center, palms face down, right leg lifts up, point your toes. And we'll slowly descend the leg, fighting gravity just a little bit as we lower all the way back down. Notice the difference between right and left side, or whichever version you just, whichever side you just took rather. Let's bend the left knee towards your chest or the opposite. We're going to take your right hand to the knee. Knee goes right, arm goes left. Maybe you shift your gaze beyond left fingertips. I am going to keep my gaze or my eyes closed, but allow the head to be straight on this side. Pull the belly in, come back to center, palms face up, or excuse me, palms face down, left leg lifts up, point your toes. We'll descend the leg, controlled movement all the way back down. Coming into a fetal position, so make your way onto your right side, using right arm as a pillow, maybe bending the knees a little closer to the heart, maybe left hand comes to heart center, keep a soft gaze or the eyes closed. So you can be facing forward. I'm just showing you from the side because I was demoing a couple things so that you could see a little more clearly, but you would have faced forward. Good, least effort. If you can, the head comes up last. Use your left hand to push your way back up to seated. I'm going to reorient myself so I'm facing towards you. I'm also going to use my blanket to support the seat. And if you need support for the knees, don't forget you can always take support for the knees on either side. You don't have to have your knees way up here. You can always take your support, or you can change the level of the blocks, or you can take the legs out straight. Whatever feels good for you. All right. So we're going to close with a nice easy shoulder and neck opener. Pat yourself on the back with your right hand. Left hand pulls the elbow down. Lean over to the left if that feels good. Come back to center. Pat yourself on the back with left hand. Right hand pulls elbow down. Maybe leaning to the right, maybe not. Come back to center. We're going to release the hands wherever it feels comfortable. Palms can face up or down. Bring your chin down to your chest. Keep a lift in the heart. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Left ear to the left shoulder. You can Cradle the head with left hand if you need. Try not to bring the shoulders up with you. Head hangs back if it feels okay. Right ear, right shoulder, cradling the head if that feels best. Chin back down to your chest. Use the base of your right hand to place your head back onto your spine, and we release. We're going to close with 5 cycles of breath. Inhale, sweep the arms up over your head. Maybe palms pressed, gaze lifts. Exhale down the center. Inhale up, fill the lungs. Slow exhale down to empty the lungs. Inhale, gathering energy. Exhale, take it down center. 2 more, inhale. Exhale. Final cycle, inhale up. And exhale down. Pausing at the heart, hands in prayer, thumbs to the sternum, soft gaze or eyes closed. Take a moment to thank yourself for taking good care of yourself. Good things happen every single time you step on the mat. Thank you so much for allowing me to guide you through your practice. Namaste. Thank you, yogis. If you love this video, please subscribe to my newsletter. You can find the subscribe to newsletter box on my website, hhislandyoga.com. If you scroll down to the bottom after visiting hhislandyoga.com, there will be a prompt to subscribe to the newsletter. You can also send me an email, hhislandyoga@gmail.com, and I can add you. I just need your first and last name and your email. Or you can text me, 803-420-2829. I welcome your requests and your feedback. Again, the easiest way to text me, to reach me is by text, 803-420-2829. Thank you so much for your continued support. Have a beautiful rest of your day.